What's good, everyone? This is your boy DJ's Raw Uncut Truth, and I got my homie Hoop Jargon in the building. Say what's up to the fam, bro.
There you go, man. Shit, man. Another day in paradise, brother. Thanks for having me on, and let's get it in,
Oh yeah, we had to talk about the GOAT. No, it's not LeBron James,
man.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
You get started early, man.
Yeah. Well, I see so many butthurt LeBron stands talking about if LeBron was golfing before a playoff game. Come on, man. When you're Michael Jordan, you can do what you want.
I mean, hey, when you LeBron James, you can do what you want, but you better win at the end of the day. If you
Yeah.
3-9 in the finals, sorry.
Yeah, I know. You 3-9 in the finals.
Hey,
Of course,
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
call it what it is.
criticize if you do that and you lose.
Yeah.
But they were saying because Michael Jordan lost that. They're now saying it now, like the LeBron James fans. They were saying that since Michael Jordan had 63 points and they lost, there it was a different time back then. There was no social media. There was none of that stuff. So times are different. Michael Jordan did his thing. He scored 63 points.
Yep.
But as you know, the '86 Boston Celtics were one of the great NBA teams of all time,
Yep.
probably top five. Some
Yep.
people say. So that was amazing. What's your opinion of what you saw in that documentary?
Well, let me start off with that point you made about cats trying to because I mean, this is open season for if you are flummoxed about why Jordan is considered the greatest and you happen to be a LeBron fan, so you kind of nitpicking at this point because you basically didn't do your research on your own to even know this stuff because all this stuff is well known hoop knowledge. But this is your chance to try to poke holes into the GOAT theory. And it's like, if you want to go about that, you just corny as hell. I mean, it is what it is. He made the second to the, last shot. And he happened to go against, like you said, a better team, and they put him out. So if you want to try to use that as a new thing you just learned today, but try to act like you knew it already to discredit Jordan, I mean, go right ahead. All I'm going to say is 6-0.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna
Do what
say
you
too.
got to do, man. Do what you got to do, bro.
Oh,
But
you know what the Shines are saying now? They're
what's
also
that?
saying, you see that? Even Jordan said that he needed Pippen. Well, of course you need assistance. You can't win by yourself. Even the great Wilt Chamberlain had to have a good team around him to beat the Boston Celtics with Bill Russell.
Absolutely. I mean, every team who's ever, even the guys who quote unquote won without a second star, like a Dirk Nowitzki or Hakeem Olajuwon, they still had a great cast of other players. So of course you need help. Like, you know, again, you see the insecurity when guys who are fans like that say stuff like that because it's baseless, and you kind of grasping for straws at that point. So I mean, you got to kind of expect that, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. What were some of the things that you were impressed with Michael Jordan with, and the things that you see that he did back then that certain athletes do not do right now?
Great question. So what stood out to me first was when he stepped in at the University of North Carolina and he had that mentality to outwork everybody off the rip. And it reminds me of, my interview I did with Cynthia Cooper last Monday. Some players, man, I don't care what genre, what sport, they just got that special gene in them, man. And they will not lose. They're not going to be second to anybody. And they got and it's almost the audacity of confidence where it's like, you got in your mind, yeah, you've been here, yeah, you a 5-star talent, but hey, I'm better than you. I'm gonna outwork you. And so that impressed me a lot. I never knew about that story, him coming to North Carolina. I mean, of course, we all know about the shot against Georgetown, but I didn't know that he came out there, even cats like James Worthy, like, damn, man, who this young dude? He said, I was better than Jordan for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, you know what it was after that. So that really impressed me, bro. Just to start off, I mean, I can go multiple levels with that. But to start off, that was a great thing that resonated with me because it's not easy to step onto a college team as a freshman and take over from 5-star, upperclassmen, man. That's not easy, man.
No, it's not easy. I think James Worthy was being a little nice there. If you look at historical videos of that 81-82 North Carolina Tar Heel team,
Mhm.
the whole year James Worthy was the man. Now, even though Michael Jordan did hit that shot, he was a contributor. It was the main guys on that team were James Worthy and Sam Perkins,
Yeah,
and then it was MJ. But MJ was the number one competitor. I'll say that of that team, and people saw it then. They saw the potential, and everyone that said that Coach Dean Smith hold Jordan back, I think he made Jordan better because he got Jordan to do things that was different from his game. He didn't allow Michael Jordan to be one dimensional.
yeah,
Jordan became a better passer. He became more cerebral with the
yeah.
tutelage of Dean Smith. And if you look at any Michael Jordan documentaries, he's always credited Dean Smith for his development. He always said that he wouldn't be the player that he is in history if it wasn't for Dean Smith.
I agree with that, man. And here's so let me kind of retort. You know what you were saying? Like, yeah, at that time, James Worthy definitely is the better overall prospect. You know, obviously him. I mean, and so having played Division I basketball, it's a tough, slippery slope because when you have tenure and you're really good, you're gonna get the looks. You know what I mean? Because you get the prognostications, you get people saying, okay, this player gonna be that, and you kind of get that clout to where you get first look. And to your point, was James being a little nice, after the fact when egos out the way, of course. I mean, but as we see how the careers panned out, obviously Jordan was, I ain't gonna say 2 times the better player, but by far the better player. You know what I mean? And so maybe there was a precursor to him understanding, like, okay, this young dude, he may not have the reputation I have, but if the rubber met the road, this dude better than me. And I've experienced that myself, man. Some young cat who I just, out of just pride alone, I'm like, man, this dude ain't shit. And then he's like, damn, this dude right here kind of nice, man. But I can't let him know that in the moment. You know what I mean? So I get how both of those can play out. Um, as far as your assertion about Dean Smith's influence on his development, man, you're 100% on point. And that's what a lot of cats don't understand, man. Like when you go to college or when you play for a demanding coach, they pull a lot of out of you that makes you a better player overall. And I liken that to my freshman year. I played at Stephen F. Austin State University. If you remember, this school that beat Duke this year in Cameron
Yeah,
Indoor Stadium. So that's a program I was a part of my freshman year. Um, that dude broke me down like, bro, and I ended up quitting the team second semester. That dude broke me down like no coach I've ever had in my life. But I appreciate him. His name is Danny Casper. He coaches at Texas State University now, Division I school, I think in the Sun Belt Conference. But the way that he taught me basketball, it helped me out so much down the line. I just at the time at 18, I wasn't really ready to receive it, but it taught me so much, man, just about basketball continuity. And he's actually a offspring of Greg Popovich, and so he learned his coaching style from Greg Popovich. So I was kind of like a 2 degrees separated from Pop. And as we all know, Pop is very demanding. So I say all that to compare to what Jordan is saying with Dean Smith is it may not be something that at the time you like so much, but when you understand that this person is giving you so much more tools to use down the line. So when I come over to later to Prairie View, I knew what it was to be in the in the gauntlet. Like I knew how a Popovich coach would instruct you to see everything in basketball. So I was ready by the time I was 21 years old as a junior transferring to Prairie View. So that's kind of, I guess, what Jordan's alluding to. Like, you may not appreciate in the moment. I'm sure he wanted the ball more, but down the line, he prepared you to be able to thrive when your game opens up and when your time, presents itself, I would say.
yeah, that was real. A lot of these athletes today, they I'm not saying all, but I'm gonna say majority just for this argument. They have to learn if they want to win championships. There's another gear that they have to go to. There's another climb that they have to go to be a winner like that. They always talking about, oh, I want to be the greatest of all time. I want to be better than Jordan. I want to be better than this. They talking, but they're not doing. See,
Yep.
Michael Jordan was a doer. He wasn't a talker. He
Yep.
never talked about I'm gonna be better than Dr. J. He never talked about I'm gonna be better than David Thompson or Bill Russell or anybody. He was all about that action,
Yep.
and that's why he's so highly revered.
Agree. Yeah. I mean, and you look at great players, that's how they are. They're about that action, like Marshawn Lynch so famously said. And again, that kind of goes back to my interview I had with Cynthia Cooper, who I consider to be the female Michael Jordan. She was always saying that, I mean, she got invited to Team USA tournament. You know what I'm saying? I want to say 1984, some tryout, and she was no, she wasn't invited, but she got herself into the tryout, and a lot of the women had their own spots. She went in there, and she's like, I went in there, and at no point did I think I was not gonna make that team. Even though you look back, I wasn't supposed to make that team, but she said I knew I had something that they didn't have. I was gonna outwork your ass, and I was gonna beat you. I was gonna show up an hour before you and outdo you every day, unbeknownst to you. And that's what the best, that's what they inhibit. And that's why they become the best. And I told her, like, damn, man, that's crazy, because me being a fellow Division I athlete, I didn't approach the game like that. I just thought, I'm gonna show up when practice is on, I'm gonna do my thing, I'm gonna do what's required of me, and I'm gonna go home. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of people who are your favorite athletes who approach the game like that, but the best, the upper echelon, the upper crust, that's just kitty work, just doing what's required. They're above and beyond. So to hear Jordan take that same approach, and then to juxtapose that with talking to Coop, that's just how the best of the best approach the thing, man. Like, that's just starter of what's required. They're always gonna go above and beyond, man. And that's something I admire about people who operate on that level. You know what I mean? Because it's definitely something to marvel at and something to respect when the career is over. Because everybody does not, whether you believe it or not, everybody does not put that same thing into the game, man.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Um, Scottie Pippen, especially in part two, they chronicled Scottie Pippen more. Um, that contract he signed, man, for 7 years, I think he had like 2.5 million each year, was one of the worst contracts of all time. Whoever did that contract, I mean, they need to be. That's the worst contract I've ever seen. Uh, they were his last year with the Bulls. He was gangster, man. He took he had a foot problem, right? An injury.
Yep.
Instead of handling it in the off season, he did it during the season to give a fu to the organization.
Yep.
Brother, tell me how important Scottie Pippen was to the Bulls. I don't think a lot of these youngsters understand. When Scottie Pippen didn't play, and they showed it in the documentary part two, the Bulls had a bad start
Well,
because
yeah.
Scotty wasn't
So
there.
you know what? And I put Scottie Pippen in the level I put a cat like Draymond Green in the level I put. Well, actually, he's about 2 tiers above Draymond Green, but he is like a glue guy plus. And so, for those who don't understand what a glue guy is a person who basically takes the minutia of the team and kind of fits it all together. So whatever the drop off in talent or ability is, the glue guy comes in, mends all that together. Look at a guy like Tayshaun Prince for Detroit. Look at a guy like PJ Brown for the like '08, '09, '07 Celtics. A guy who mends that talent together. You always need one, or like Ron Artest for the Lakers when they won their second championship with Kobe. On Kobe's second, on his back end. You need these kind of guys to mend talent. And Scottie Pippen was the ultimate version of this, man. Like, and not only that, he developed. I'm not saying he didn't have it at first. He came from Central Arkansas. So he didn't come from a big program. He wasn't a big prospect. But just like I guess I said Dennis Rodman as well, he learned to be he learned his greatness within his own self even more so than Rodman, arguably. So he became a primary player. So he was very important to what they did. And look no further than when Jordan retired the second time, the Bulls still won 55 games with Tony Kukoc being the second best player.
Yeah.
It was business as usual. You know what I mean? So it's, and you saw when he went to Houston, they had a good year. The kinship and the bond wasn't all the way there. He went to Portland. He thrived in Portland. So you can see, the jury says that, Scottie Pippen was good everywhere he went after he reached his point of development. So, yeah, man, he was a very integral part of what Chicago did. He was the second most important player on that team the whole ride. So anybody trying to undercut that fact is you just flat out lying to yourself, man.
And one thing about Scottie Pippen, he's one of those success stories about late bloomers.
Yes, sir.
Someone that went from 6'1", kept working hard. He was a ball boy not ball boy, but a manager for the UCA Arkansas Bears,
Yep.
which is an NAIA school at the time.
At the time, yep.
And then the sophomore year he grew to 6'7", and you see so many of the league's top players who weren't even star recruits. Like Kawhi wasn't a star recruit. Well, Kawhi was like a low 4-star, but he wasn't like the Kawhi today. Steph Curry was a 3-star. Dame Lillard was not ranked. Paul George was a low-ranked recruit. Pascal Siakam wasn't ranked, and all had great success. The players who are, the prospects who are highly touted recruits, they at times get comfortable. And then you got people like Scottie Pippen who come into the league hungry, wanting to prove something to everybody that they're the best.
Absolutely. And bro, I'm gonna give you two backstories. So first, myself, man, I was a very much a late bloomer, just like them. I played varsity 1 year, man. So a lot of people, I played, playing professional in Europe. They're like, damn, you must have been a beast in high school. I'm like, nope. I was not. I was a late bloomer. It hit me about midway through senior year, and I got it. And then I never looked back, proverbially speaking. And then I liken this situation to Dame Lillard, man, brother. This is a crazy backstory of connections. So my second to last year being a graduate assistant at Prairie View A&M, we played against Weber State. And as we know, Dame Lillard played for who? Weber State. We played at UCLA out here in Los Angeles in the tournament. So the first night we played against UCLA, we played against Drew Holiday was at the time. Collison was here at the time. So it's that era. So 09, I want to say.
Yeah, 09.
So the second day, it was a round robin tournament. The second day we played against Weber State, and none other than Dame Lillard was on that team. You know what? He didn't even start, bro. He was a freshman. He didn't even start. And can you name another person on that Weber State team? I'll wait.
Who? I'm having a brain cramp. I'm trying to remember that player, man.
Can you name anybody in that program history?
No,
exactly.
Nothing but Dame. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and no disrespect to the program, but that's a cat who, I remember doing scout team for Weber State. He wasn't on our radar of guys to look out for. You know what I mean? And so he was the epitome of a late bloomer. And then, what a lot of people try to do is they say, oh, man, he didn't make the tournament. You don't know. He ain't going to make it next level. And I tell people all the time, making the tournament ain't got shit to do with your aptitude to make it to the next level. Like, look at Ben Simmons. Did Ben Simmons make the tournament for LSU? Nope. What everybody was saying before he got drafted. Oh, man, he ain't make the tournament. He a bust. So you got to watch how you throw these projections on players on next level, because you never know how they're going to thrive when the game opens up, when the court opens up. Ben Simmons is an open court player. Dame Lillard was a dude, from the Bay Area. He got game, but playing the structured system, you didn't quite see the best version of himself. You got to understand, let them dudes go out and perform, you'll see a better version of them. And so, even a cat like Scottie Pippen, which starting out as a manager, that what else do you need to know about how biased that situation is? Excuse me. And so, I love stories like that, because some cats, you happen to grow, you happen to mature, you happen to what have you, and elevated to a situation of prominence, and you just step back like, damn, man, like that guy really, really throws. And I think a guy like Mike Dunleavy Jr., same guy, 6'2" to 6'9". Anthony Davis, same thing. So it's just beautiful to watch, man. Guys kind of come into their own later when people say that you should be pretty much a finished product at 19, 18 years old. I think it's dope, man. When you look at a story like Scotty, man, and to see where he started from and where he came. Even Dennis Rodman, you look at his story, he was a nobody.
Yeah, if you take away personal lives, their on-court journey is the same.
Yeah.
Similar. Dennis Rodman was a late bloomer. Matter of fact, he grew after high school. Like, I think he grew when he was 20.
Yep.
And, how many people grow to 6'8" in their early 20s?
Yeah.
That was a blessing from the Most High, man.
Most definitely.
I wish I had that blessing, man. I wish I grew to 6'8". I'm barely 6 foot, so I tell people 6 foot in a good day. 6 foot in some Jordan Concords.
It's a beautiful thing, man. I grew from 6 foot to 6'5" in one summer, and I'm 6'7" now. So it's a beautiful thing, man. When you go from normal to like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I'm not trying to be off topic, but a lot of these people think that if they were just 6'7", 6'8", they would be like NBA All-Stars or stuff. It's not like that. You know how many? I don't think they realize. You know how many tall basketball players who couldn't make the NBA? It's not easy, man.
Hey, you ready for me to start getting Raw Uncut?
Yeah.
These fuck niggas who say shit like that. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me take the professional badge off. Are the worst type of humans, man. People who say, "Oh man, if I was 6'7", I'll do this." And my rebuttal to that is, nigga, I done played against dudes 7'3", 7'2", 7 foot. Me being 6'7", I'm a fucking midget out there, bro. And I think it is demeaning to a cat like me who worked hard once I got tall to get good. To somebody say, "Oh, if I was your height, I would kill." Like, you don't understand that 6'7" is not tall. 6'7" is Kobe Bryant, who's a 2 guard. I played the 4 and the 5, bro. That's not tall.
Yeah, I don't know why they think like that. Oh, if I was 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", I'll definitely be all-star. These people wasting height. That's nothing compared. You know how many 7-footers are in the league?
Bruh.
Or 7-footers are barely in the league?
You know how many 7-footers who ain't touched the league?
Yeah.
Again, I played 7'3", 7'3", 7'2", 7'1". None of them dudes were NBA players. So, what do you think how hard it is to get to that next level if you're 7'3" and you don't make it the NBA? You play D1 sports. So what does that tell you?
They're not ready.
Exactly. Hey. So it's like, man, if my aunt had a dick, she'd be my uncle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy to say that, but it's not. That's not reality. Like, reality is you have to really be exceptional no matter what your size is. Does it help to be taller? Yes, but you have to be exceptional, man. Straight up.
Yeah, absolutely, man. There was a quote that Roy Williams said, and this is interesting. He said, Michael Jordan is the only player that I've ever seen that could turn it on and off, and he never freaking turned it off. Shout out to Roy Williams. The Tar Heels, my favorite college team, by the way.
Great coach.
Roy Williams always be saying freaking.
You said Roy
Roy Williams always be saying the word freaking, or he doesn't want to use cuss words, so it sounds funny. But Roy Williams said something that was interesting. He never turned the switch on and off.
Yeah.
He was always aggressive.
Yep. But some people don't understand how the separation of ability is, because, again, I can only liken to myself and guys I play with. It's hard to turn it on like that. Can you come and bring what you prepare for? Can you come and play at a moderate Division I level every day? Yeah, you should at least be able to do that. But to come and I'm going to murder you every day, every practice, every second. That is exceptional beings in this world who can do it. And brother, it ain't nothing but a handful of people who can do it. I don't care who lies, who likes to exaggerate their careers. And we talking professionals here. The people who are like that, they know that, and they are few and far between. And that's why I respect all of them on a special level that people will never understand, because it's very hard to tap into energy, bro.
Yeah, man. This is something that um like players like LeBron and before I say this, LeBron stands. This is just an observation. Don't take it seriously. Now, continue what I'm about to say. LeBron is known of turning the switch on and off, and this is why he's not the GOAT. See, if LeBron had that mindset of Jordan, then his career would have been different. To be honest, LeBron should have won more than 3 rings. Now, I'm gonna give him an excuse for 2007. Nobody
Yeah.
was beating that Spurs team, the 06-07 year. I give him that. But 11 and 14, he should have won.
Nope.
He should have won those two. And the constant difference is LeBron and Jordan. You see why Michael Jordan was a winner? He had a father figure, a man
About to get to
who
it.
who preached dominance and competition in the household.
Yep.
LeBron had a single mother who got around, and it's
Yep.
funny that they'll talk about LeVar, but they never talk about LeBron's mom, who did
Yep.
a lot of shady things in her
Yep.
past.
Yep. You're right. And it kind of goes to like how the sway of the media and how they tend to, favor a matriarchal situation over a patriarchal situation. That's another discussion for another day. But um, yeah, most definitely. And you see guys who have a fluid parent household situation, they can handle themselves in adversity because why? They don't lead with emotion. They understand how to compartmentalize, how to discern, what's real adversity through what's contrived adversity, and they can kind of emotionally get themselves through the situation. And that's a great point about Jordan having his pops around, because he was the ultimate mentally strong person. Kobe Bryant had his pops, Joe Jellybean Bryant, around. So he was a man at about 10 years old, playing professional ball in Italy. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Yeah,
something you understand. Mentally sturdy guys, what they got in common? Their pops was around. Look at Steph Curry. Pops was around. Look at Klay Thompson. Pops was around. So you see it, Tom, and there's guys like KD who didn't have a pops around, who are anomalies. But your steadfast, sturdy bet is a guy who is steadfast, a guy who doesn't lose his head under pressure. He had patriarchal energy, unfortunately. Look at Shaq. He had his stepfather there the whole time. So that's something you definitely got to pay attention to, man. That's why I'm such a fan of the ball kids, because you can say what you want to say, man. They are self-assured kids, man, and no matter how the media try to project their insecurities on them, they got that king energy that their dad has given them since forever, man. And I love that about the situation.
absolutely. Fatherhood. Shout out to all the fathers out there that
Absolutely.
are taking care of their kids. And I know the media wants to point out that fathers are not involved of kids' lives. That's a lie. There's a lot of fathers out there, and there's a lot of fathers who stepped in that's not related who take care of their kids as well. So
Yep.
shout out to all the fathers. I tell you right now, if LeBron had a father, and I'm not a LeBron fan, you know this,
Yeah.
maybe he'll be up there with Jordan if he had a father. I know for a fact he would, but he never had one, and he's all about praising mothers. And I remember
Yep.
one time LeBron had an interview. He said, "I'm glad I didn't have a father. I would, if I was in LeBron's position, if I was in this position, and if I had the life like LeBron, I would never say something idiotic like that."
Yeah. Well, that's what you say when you don't have that type of direction. You kind of just guessing as you're going along, and you're going along with the liberal agenda as you're going along. So the liberal agenda says you don't need, you know, the male hegemony leading you. It's saying basically you can figure it out on your own. You don't need that type of dynamic. And so yeah, of course he'll say shit like that. But of course that is the most ridiculous thing. And if he had that type of mental stability, because LeBron mentally can check out. I mean, we saw. I've never seen a player melt down like he did that. Was it 2011 series against the Mavericks?
Oh yeah, man.
I ain't gonna lie. It's back in my LeBron hater days. I'm no longer LeBron hater. I'm just not a fan. I was just like, I wanted this to happen, but I was like, wow, this dude is really melting down. I ain't never seen no shit like that, dog. DJ, I ain't never seen nothing like that, bro.
Yeah, I've never seen it in my life, and they called me a LeBron hater. I was trying my best not to get on um, LeBron, but it was so hard to not. That was the worst performance by a superstar I've ever seen.
Yeah. When you letting JJ Barea and Jason Terry and what's my man's name, Deshaun Stevenson, check you. All these dudes are 5 inches plus. You are, the inferior to you, giving up 50 to 100 pounds to you, and you let these dudes check you, man. It just goes to show you where his mental state was, man. And I've been in positions, man, like when you check out mentally, it is very, very hard to check back in, man. And I think to your point, if he had that assurance, if he had that intestinal fortitude at an early age before he had to be weighed, which in a lot of ways was like his surrogate father as far as teaching him how to lead, by proxy from Pat Riley. Pat Riley taught Wade. Wade taught LeBron. So, it's definitely by proxy. But, just wonder if he had that shit in him already. Man, of course we talking about the best basketball player ever. Like, he wouldn't have no flaws in his game. Now, besides outside shooting early. But if he had that intestinal fortitude to go with his raw ability and his size, like, what can you do to stop him?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Michael Jordan, man, is he 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 showed in that documentary. He showed his father, and when he showed how competitive he had the kids be, there was a lot of racism going on back in those days in the '60s and '70s, and he still wanted his sons to compete at everything. He didn't care if it blacks couldn't hang out with whites. He still wanted his sons to be the best men they could be. And that's what fatherhood is.
Yep.
That's what fatherhood brings out of young people at the time, because Jordan's not young anymore, as you know.
Yep.
But James Jordan, God rest his soul, and his mother Dolores raised themselves a great man. And people say, "Oh, Jordan's not a nice person. He's a bully. I've because remember, Michael Jordan said that people may dislike him after this documentary.
Mm-hmm.
I've started to appreciate him even more because he reminds me of people who are determined. Determined people are not going to sugarcoat things. Determined people are not going to say things that make you feel uh, happy-go-lucky. They're very blunt and they're very straightforward.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, man. All like bullying, dominance, whatever, it's all subjective. So I think when you have a ruling class mentality, if you have a domineering mentality, if you are alpha male in sports, it's going to come off as you've been a bully. You know why? Because you don't have time to wait on people's bullshit to get to where you want to go. And to go back to Coop, my interview I did with Coop, she was saying basketball is time sensitive, man. You don't have time to worry about feelings if you need to get to your goal. So was he a bully? In my opinion, yeah, he was. But so what? It's sports, man. It's sink or swim, man. It is the survival of the fittest, man. So I don't think that's a problem per se. If you win and you're successful, Nothing wrong with it. Now, if you an asshole, if you're a bully and you're losing, then I'm going to speak on it. Hey, you may need to rein that back. You may need to rethink your position because the way you see it ain't working. So I can't deny. I'm sorry. I can't down Jordan's approach if it yielded the results that it's yielded. And I mean, the resume speaks for itself. So, you know, I can't get upset about him. I can't denigrate him for that because the way he chose to lead, it worked.
And now I know I'm a weed smoking guy. Everybody and their mama that listen to this knows that. I got to give Jordan credit. When he first came in, stayed away from all that, and you could tell young Mike Jordan was springy, man. He was full of energy, diet top notch. That's why he was in good form when he played. Um, a lot of these players, I don't think they realize the sacrifice they have to do to make sure they're in uh, top condition because your body is fuel. Whatever you put in your body, you're gonna get some results. Either bad or good, you're gonna get results.
Yep.
That's why it's always important to treat the body like an engine.
Agreed. Agreed. And that even goes again, man. I can only liken it to what I know from an applied standpoint is that there are some guys who work out what's required of you, and there are some guys who go above and beyond as far as conditioning, as far as weight training, as far as your diet and what have you. Man, I've seen players, DJ, man, dudes drink soda, eat at the buffet, and they fine. Like, it ain't no deal. Now, is that a long-term solution for greatness? No, it's not. But, you being at your athletic prime, that can help you. But those who are disciplined enough, and I'll give LeBron a lot of credit for this, who spend all this money to invest in your body to stay at that prominent level, henceforth, him being 35 years old and still being able to be at a pretty peak position, to be honest. And Jordan, and if Jordan kind of, I guess, if he had a little more information about health and like what to do to stay in a prime shape, I'm sure he did more. But this guy, Jordan, towards the end, he was still, he would work out. Don't get me wrong, but he smoked. He would drink. He would gamble. He would go. He hang out all times of night. So it just makes you think, man. If he really, really, really like took it as serious, like towards the back end of his career, like say Kobe did, like for his full career, because Kobe had to work twice as hard as Jordan worked hard to be almost as good as him. You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah,
Jordan just was disciplined like that off the rip, Lord, oh my God, it wouldn't be fair.
I can see why Kobe. That's why Kobe played longer than Jordan.
Yeah,
Like when Jordan was on the Wizards, man, everybody was like, "Man, why we didn't get Bulls Jordan?" Well, he's older, but it would have helped if Jordan didn't smoke all those cigars all day and drink all
yep,
that Hennessy. You could tell he wasn't like top condition despite the age. I'm telling you right now, if he was on the Wizards not doing that stuff, the he would have averaged way better than he did with the Wizards. If he did that, then him just as we know what he did, just barely 20 points per game, right? 20
yeah,
points per game.
about 20.
Um, he was trying to own the team, so the motivation was different.
Yep.
And but this is why we need to tell, like, to talk about Jordan's career. This is the reason why. There's too many beta males out there, too many sissies out there, too many people that want their mommy and daddy to do everything. We
Yeah,
got to preach manhood to these kids, man. We got to preach that stuff because Jordan, he didn't put up with that. Muhammad Ali didn't put up with that. Jack Johnson didn't put up with that. See, I could go any other year and pick an alpha male sports figure who didn't put up with lackadaisical attitude, losing, just being a failure. Gotta hate being a failure. You gotta hate it, man.
Yeah.
This is the reason why I'm like when I was young, I made a goal to myself. I told myself I would never be broke again. And then it came to fruition.
That's a great goal. So let me ask you, what drove you to come to that conclusion?
But what drove me to that was um, the family I had two loving parents that taught me how to do things the right way, etc. But we weren't rich. But when you live in a suburb, like we moved to the suburbs, right?
Mm.
This is during my high school year, so everybody got stuff that I don't have, and I was like, and in the dumps, and I was like, man, when I get my own money, when I get my bread, I'm gonna be doing it better than everybody.
There you go.
I'm gonna get a better car, and I'm gonna get a better place. Motivation breeds success.
Yep.
That's what it does. Like
And
people.
yeah,
Oh, sorry about
well,
that, brother.
no,
I was
no.
saying,
And the reason why I asked you because I want the viewers to understand, you know, the various things that can motivate you. I'm in the same thing. I'm from the hood. And if you're familiar with Houston, I'm from Acres Homes. Uh, Not the most prominent area of Houston. It's where like
yeah,
you listen to rap music. It's where Swisher House started. I went to high school with Slim Thug. Slim Thug was a senior when I was a freshman at Eisenhower High School. So I was in the midst of all that bullshit, shit that can like take you all kind of ways that don't lead nowhere. But I'm just like you. I mean, I lived in Greenfield Village, which was a little bit away from Acres Homes. I'm from Acres Homes, but I moved to Greenfield Village, which is quote unquote a suburb, but not really. It's suburb only in face value. But I what my motivation was, I didn't necessarily have the best examples of what the right thing was, but I knew I didn't want to be like everybody who fuck it up. And that's what drove me. Even though being a 1 year letterman, on varsity, I was like, man, I was just, I had the audacity to think that, so what? I'm gonna be that one nigga. And I had aspirations going like to Texas, like UT. I was like, man, I'm gonna be at Texas. I'm gonna be the best player at Texas. Now I didn't quite make it to there, but that's the kind of mentality I had. I'm like, man, I just didn't know better to think no less of myself. You know what I mean? But it was fueled from seeing people who around me who just doing bullshit all the time, and so I wanted to be better than them. I'm like, man, I don't know where I'm gonna land. I'm gonna be better than that shit. I'm gonna shoot for the moon though. I mean, if I hit
yeah,
a few
man.
stars, I can live with that. And that's how people got to be, man.
Yeah, I know that journey, man. Living in Southwest Houston and then moving to Sugarland and just you know how Sugarland is out there. Like when you go deep into Sugarland, you be like, oh man,
I was
this
about to
this a
say,
little this is a little different out here, man. I'm not saying like Fort Bend, you know, Sugarland, the Sugarland.
nah,
Yeah,
but
we move
Sugarland was
out
nice.
there, Suburbville out there in
Yes,
Houston.
sir. That's some
Uh,
shit like from where I'm from, North Side. We was like, man, we know that exists, but we ain't never been there.
oh yeah, man. When I was living in Southwest Houston, man, like you see another side and you tell your parents got it to move somewhere different, but you just like, man, why are we still living here?
Yeah.
We so used to living in that side of Houston, it was a norm. But but let me get to Jordan. Before we go, I just want to say this. Um, I'm not trying to down LeBron or anybody else or even KD.
Mm.
But if they truly want to win a championship, if they truly want to have a great legacy, they do things the right way. In that documentary, not one time did Jordan, and un, this was an unfiltered documentary. This is footage from what they heard Jordan say or anything. Did you even hear Jordan say, "Let's trade this, let's trade that"? Let's
Nope.
trade. Nah,
Nope.
LeBron comes to the Lakers. I knew it before. I said he gonna trade some players. I was right.
Shit, yeah.
He's That's his history. He's trading
That's
people.
it.
Yeah, he's trading people, and I know they got AD, but if they don't win that title with AD, it's gonna be a waste. I tell you that.
Yep. Gave up too much talent for
Yeah, gave
somebody
up too much
who's gonna
talent.
come. That
Now the
boy's gonna come
Pelicans
regardless.
are rising. You see
Who's
that? The
rising?
Pelicans are rising.
Yeah, for sure. Hell yeah. I told you, like the Pelicans are my side hoe team, so I'm all engaged with the Pelicans got going in. And man, I listened to one of your pod. I forgot who you were speaking with, but you were saying the synergy changed once Zion came, and I wanted to like, damn, I wish I could like give them a video. They actually changed before Zion came. If you remember, about 10 games before Zion came back, they hit a stride with Biazo. Um, who else was in the
Yeah, in
mix?
January.
Yeah, and I tell people in my sports group, I'm like, no, no, no. They're already hitting a stride right now. When Zion comes, because they're already on the uptick, it's gonna be scary when Zion comes. And I remember saying that, and everybody like, man, whatever, whatever. And then it's funny how history remembers certain points because history said, oh, when Zion came, they turned up. I'm like, no, 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 no. They turned up about 10, 15 games before Zion came back. And Zion was like the icing on the cake. And so, yeah, man, that's
Wait a
crazy
minute.
how
Actually, they
it goes.
won more games in that January period than what they did when Zion came back.
Yeah,
I mean, not LeBron, Lonzo was playing like, man, I don't care anymore.
yeah. That's what's going from 20-point games like back to back to back. And well, and I credit Lonzo for being smart enough. He's a point guard. Point guard is going to look out for the team first. So he was smart enough to understand. Like, I got this phenom coming in. I'm going to feed. I'm going to feed him first, and I'm going to take a back seat scoring because Lonzo care about scoring, man. I think we all understand that now. And that's something I always appreciate about him is he cares about the integrity of the game over anything. And
Oh, I
you
gotta
know,
say this, brother. I gotta
yeah, go
say a
ahead, bro.
couple things before we go. Um, Drafting for need will get your ass bit. Look at the Portland Trailblazers. They kept
Yep.
saying the whole time in '84, we need a center. We need a center. But Bob Knight told them, well, draft Michael Jordan at center. He's that damn good. These motherfuckers gonna pick Sam Bowie out of all people. Sam Bowie. Because we already know that Hakeem the Dream at that time was the man. Getting
Yeah.
compared to Bill Russell, modern day Bill Russell, Kareem, you name it. We understood that. Um, Sam Bowie, number two. See, these draft picks this year in this draft, they better not take it lightly. Do not, I repeat, to the teams that are drafted, do not draft off need. Pick the best player with the most potential as possible. This is how you get beat.
Yeah.
This is how you get beat.
Agreed. I'm gonna give you a little pushback on Sam Bowie because Sam Bowie was the deal. Sam Bowie had the unfortunate circumstance of being an injury-prone bastard. Um, Obviously, in retrospect, one of the more retarded picks of all times. But Sam Bowie was nice. Sam Bowie was real nice. 7'2". He had a very vast. I mean, he almost was like a baby Kareem. He could do a lot at that height. But all that, what they got to do with the price of tea in China, because it didn't manifest next level for his injury. So I definitely understand that, and you can liken that even further to Greg Oden being selected over KD. You know what I mean? Off the premise you the big man because you have Brandon Roy already. When it's like, all right, in retrospect, you a damn fool not taking KD.
You know what's so funny, bro? Now the Golden State Warriors, they're about to find out what their team is made of. If they do not see, great teams pick players to extend your decades of dominance,
Mm-hmm.
like the Celtics did back in the day. They had Cornbread, Maxwell, and all those other players. But what did they do? Get Larry Bird before knowing what Larry Bird was going to be, and they won more titles.
Mm-hmm.
The Bulls, with the horrible Jerry Krause, did not build a team, didn't even care. He was going to take away everything. He was going to cut the roster. When the Bulls was dismantled, right?
Mm-hmm.
When their roster was gone, 98, 99, they had a terrible team. If the
Yep.
Warriors do not learn from this documentary, when Steph and Clay are past their prime or retired, they're going to look back and say, man, we should have drafted a point guard.
Mm-hmm.
We should have drafted a Killian Hayes or a LaMelo or something like that. This is a guards league. We know
Mm-hmm.
they got Steph. I don't even want the Warriors to draft him, but I know they're not smart to draft a point guard to extend a legacy. See, they don't think like that. They don't think like that at all. They may trade the pick.
Yeah.
if I'm a if I'm a if I'm a team, I'm not trading with the Warriors. So they can get the 2023 pick and get or 22 pick and get Amani Bates. Shoot, I'm not trading with them. I'm not trading with another first round pick. Those two drafts, no, I'm not doing that. But
Is
this
Jerry West? They're
Jerry
is
West with
that
the Clippers.
Zach? Oh, okay. I'm about to say yeah. When Jerry West is involved. Don't agree with nothing he's talking about because he's definitely finessing the hell out your ass.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, that
That
brother's
dude right
4D
there.
chess, man. But
He's
but hoop
dangerous.
jargon, man, brother. I'm glad you joined the show, man. We gotta do this more often. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Can't wait to look at part 3 and part 4 of Michael Jordan Last Standing. Uh,
Absolutely.
just Last Dance. My bad. Last Dance. I don't know why I keep saying Last Standing. Last Dance.
There you go.
Correct.
That's all right. You close.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
peace and blessings, everybody. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and
Please.
my brother Hoop Jargon.
Please, please. And I wanted to say, brother, before I depart, um, I may have some interviews I can get with some NBA players and what have you through one of my guys. I want to give a shout out to my boy C Hendo. He's the one who broke that story about when KD he signed with the Nets and this is his first interview that he wouldn't talk to nobody in the main industry media and he dropped the interview with my boy C Hendo who's based out of Dallas, Texas. And so he's an independent guy, but he has all the interviews, man. He's a guy, man. So I'm gonna have some stuff cracking with him coming up. So I just want everybody to just understand, man. I give all props to DJ Raw Uncut, man, for giving me this platform to speak up, man. And I just want to keep building, man. So I really appreciate y'all rocking with me. Who rocking with me, man?
Yeah, you heard it first. Be on the lookout for those interviews. Yeah, you know me. I'm just trying to help all the brothers out. You know, there's a big pie out there, and everybody can eat. And besides, I do this for a hobby, but you never know hoop jargon. You do this for a couple of years, you might grow to something where you got your own media conglomerate, and you don't need to go to ESPN and all these sites to get dough. You know what I mean?
There you go.
So, yeah, I definitely want that to happen. A utopia for everybody that wants to do this stuff to grow and become something. And that's why I like your work. And the good thing, what you're doing, hoop jargon, you're patient with it.
Yeah,
A lot of people are not patient with it with this YouTube thing, and they think, oh, they got to get a certain views and stuff. You got to keep just making videos,
absolutely.
and it'll grow and it will grow. But thank you for joining the show. We're definitely gonna do this again. Peace and
Yes, sir.
blessings to everybody.